Hi, this is Haidar Usmani, an English language teacher. Well, today I am with another video, and in this video I'll talk about the vocabulary for IELTS. First of all, I'll talk about the need of vocabulary for IELTS, and then later on I'll talk about the types of vocabulary you need for IELTS. And then later on, we will also talk about the strategy or the best way how to build up a good vocabulary skill. And be with me till the end of this video. I'll also talk about the main resources from where you can easily find out the best words for vocabulary for IELTS. Now, first of all, I'll talk about the need of vocabulary. While many students are having confusions, they normally ask about vocabulary. Vocabulary is one of the vital factors for IELTS. Let's start for the band criteria for the IELTS exam. Let's start from the listening. If we think about listening, it's totally a vocabulary listening. It's a listening of vocabulary. This means that the audio that you're listening is totally different from the words that you have for the questions. So the answer that you are going to find out from the audio is in paraphrasing shape. It's in other words. So for this, you need vocabulary a lot. The second thing, if we think about reading, in reading, you have many questions, and all questions are having answers in the passages, but you are searching. You cannot find it easily. This is all because of the vocabulary. What does it mean? It means that the answers for the questions are available in the passage, but that is in paraphrasing shape. That is in other words. You need to search, you need to scan for the paraphrasing. You need to scan the answer for that question, but the answer of that question will be given to you in the passage in other words. And if we talk about the writing section of the IELTS exam, IELTS writing task 1 and task 2, that's totally different than listening and reading. What does it mean? It means that 25% of the band criteria is based on vocabulary. So if you are writing a writing task 1 or writing task 2, and even in the speaking module, 25% of your marking criteria is based on your vocabulary. So vocabulary is a very important point or a very important factor for the IELTS. I normally tell my students that IELTS is an exam of vocabulary. If your vocabulary is weak, you cannot understand, you cannot perform well in the exam. Let's come to the second question. The second question that recently I talked about is that what type of vocabulary I need to build up, I need to work on. So the vocabulary that you need to have is normally in 3 areas. First of all, you need to build up the frequent words. At least you must know 2,000 frequent words. So I can tell you that 2,000 frequent words should be in your mind. This means that the words like the, happy, unhappy, such words, the frequent words should be like around about 2,000. The second vocabulary that you need is the academic list. Academic list means that you need to have some academic words in your mind like research, theory, valid, invalid. So you need to have such words in your mind. And the third type of vocabulary that you need to have for IELTS is the vocabulary, like I can tell you that's 2,000 plus word. Like for example, you can easily build up like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. The more you have such vocabulary, you will be performing well. Like those words are technical words or topic specific words to the IELTS. For example, you write an essay for the crimes. You write an essay for the crimes. So you must know such words which are topic specific. For example, you need to know about the crime, the words which are related to the crime. Like for example, crime rate. For example, criminology, or for example, you need to know words, regarding to that topic. So you need to have that. For example, punishment, sentence, attorney. Like you need to know the words which are topic specific, which are specified to that topic. Or for example, if you're writing a paragraph about the economy of some, like a country or a city, so you must know words which are topic specified. Like for example, you need to know a word for that topic. For example, economic, then GDP, then microeconomic, and then macro, and then like the diversity or the recession in the economy. So you need to know words such like that. Economical, economy. So you need to know words specific to that topic. Very good. Now let's come to the third question of the this video, like how to build up a good vocabulary skill. Now if you are going to build up a good vocabulary, so you need to stop going for the vocabulary list. You shouldn't make a list of words and then you have to learn. This is not the right way to build up words. Now the best way how to build up a vocabulary skill is that you need to go on my 3 main steps. Before teaching you the 3 main steps, you need to understand that you don't have to go for the quick changes. Like lots of students are saying that oh, this is quite a long, or a long lasting, or it takes a long time, or we cannot go through such steps. So show us a very quick way to build up vocabulary. Well, there is no quick way, or there is no fast way to build up your vocabulary. You need to have the time. You need to spend your time. You need to give time to the improvement of your vocabulary skill. So this is the misconception, or this is the wrong idea, that you are going to build up vocabulary in a week, or in a month, or in 2 months. So this is like this is the weak idea. This is not the right one. Now if you are honest and honestly you want to build up your vocabulary, so you have to follow my 3 steps. And in this way you can build up your vocabulary sooner, but not that sooner that you are asking for. So what you have to do, first of all, if you are planning to build up your vocabulary, you need to start from 2 things. Number 1, you need to start reading and listening, but you need to start reading and listening the one that you love. For example, I love to read this passage, so you have to read it. I love to watch this video, so you have to watch it. You have to listen to this one. Now the thing that you don't love, you don't like it, and that's boring to you, and that's exhausting, so you don't have to watch that. You have to get rid of those types of passages or audio clips. So first of all, the first stage is that you have to give time to listening and reading. And every time, whenever you're listening and reading, you need to look for the difficult word, or the word that you didn't know. And then when you find out, or when you identify like a new word and that you don't know its meaning, so you have to note it down, and then guess about that word and guess the meaning from that context or from that passage. And then you have to when you understand the meaning of that word, so directly you have to go to the second step. Now, number one is that you have to read and listen, and during listening and reading you have to search, you have to keep understanding the words, and then when you understand the word and there was a new word, so you have to note it down. You have to take that and you have to think about its meaning. This step is finished. Now you have to come to the second step. That step is that you need to start recording that word. Like, for example, you listen to a new word. Now it doesn't mean that everything is finished. No, you have to note down that new word. And when you note down that word, with that new word, you have to add like other things. For example, you just learn a word. For example, you just learn a word. For example, informing. So you just notice this word. You directly write the word inform. So you have to think about its collocations, like inform about, or they are informed about this. So you have to know the collocations, that what type of words or what words can be touched or can collocate this word. Plus, think about its synonyms. Think about its functions, like the noun form, the adjective form, the adverb form, such forms you need to know. And then after that, think about its right examples, make sentences about this. And when you understand the sentences and the examples and the synonyms and the collocations of that, and you use that word like 3, 4, 5 times in examples correctly, so that you get the confidence over that word, then after that you have to come to the third stage. Now the first stage was reading and listening those passages and those videos that you love to listen or you love to read them. And then the second step, I told you that you need to record that. You need to have a vocabulary notebook, or you need to have a notebook, or you can record it directly in a mobile. But recording is very important. And then after recording, I told you the required activities should be performed in the recording stage. And when words are recorded, for example, you record words for about 10 or for 15 days, so definitely it will be around about 50 words or 100 words. You have to come to the third stage, that's called reviewing. In reviewing stage, you need to review all the words that you have recorded, and then you have to review them, and you have to just like as a for fun, you have to make examples over that. You have to read it, and you have to just make a regular habit of you that you just reviewing those words again and again, and use them a lot. So let me just go through the steps that I have told you. Number one, read and listen. And in reading and listening, you have to read those materials, listen to those materials that you love. And the second thing I told you, whenever you're reading and listening, you have to look for the new word that you have, and then after that guess the meaning. And then right after that you have to come to the second step, which is recording. You must have a notebook, or even you can record it in a mobile. Now there are facilities. And then when you note it down, you have to think about its collocations, you have to think about its synonyms, examples, synonyms, sentences, and even you can think about its right pronunciation. Like you have to think about its right use of verb and noun. For example, if we think about the word record, so like you have to think about its right pronunciation. Like it's a record, and this is record. As a noun, I need to pronounce it like record, and as a verb, I need to pronounce the word record. I need to have the secondary stress. So you need to recognize such things. Like for example, when all these requirements are finished, collocations, synonyms, examples, making sentences, even pronunciation, because that's a very important areas of that word. And this, why I'm telling you that you need to have vocabulary, you need to have collocations, examples of that word, you need to know the pronunciation of that word, you need to know you need to read some sentences about that word. These are all in all about the confidence building over that new word. For example, if I know a new word indirectly, I start using that new word in my speaking or writing. So definitely there will be like a type of feeling that this person was not that much confident, was not that much familiar to the use of this word. But I'm sure that if you take a word and then you use it again and again, you think about collocations, you think about its synonyms, you think about its functions, like what is the noun form, what is the adjective form, what is the adverb form, and then later on you read some sentences about those sentences that the word is used in it, and then you read you make the examples for that. You think about, you confirmed the right pronunciation of that word as a verb, as a noun, as an adjective, that if it is adjective, how to pronounce it. Like for example, the word photo. So how should I pronounce it? And then how, if it is an adjective, how should I pronounce it? Photography, photographer. So you need to know the right stress of the word. And then when these things are finished, I'm sure you will be confident in using that new word properly. And the third step I told you about the reviewing, that you need to review those words. Like if the list of the words are in your mobile or in a notebook, you have to read it every day and make it fun, and then make sentences, use them again and again. This will really help you. Well, at last, I know at the beginning I promised you that at the end I'll talk about the resources from where you can find the best words with best context. So I'll talk about those areas. For you people, I can easily recommend like best YouTube is the best way, or the best place for bundle resources. You can easily watch any videos and you can notice lots of words from that place. And then later on, I can recommend the very channel which is BBC. You can keep listening to that. You can keep watching that. You will just face 2,000 topics, specific or academic, or the common and frequent words that I have recently explained. You can also, like, if you are more interested in building up the vocabulary, you can go for the TED Talks. You can easily find good words. Or if you're very much keen in improving the vocabulary, so you have to go for the Quizlets. Like for example, lots of the dictionaries are having some quizzes about the vocabulary. But I highly recommend the two main areas for vocabulary building. That's BBC, which is very good, which helps you a lot because they normally make documentaries, they normally make videos on a specific topic which is very important for the IELTS. For example, they normally make a video about a beach, so you need to have information about beach, the areas, the water, the ships, all areas. And then YouTube is the second option that you will just have the process over that. Well, I have explained all these things. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this video, you can like it, you can put comments, and you can subscribe it. Thank you. Wish you all the best of luck.